A chosen one, a light being, a seer, a high priestess, a priest, um, whatever you call yourself. I feel like it's more like on a soul ascension. But we say titles to things so that, that we can correlate to it or relate to it in this time. But I wanted to talk about 7 hard tests of the chosen ones. And I want to give my real life experiences to go along with this. This is Goddess Energy 333, and we are back. I'm taking a second away from doing a reading so that I can do this video and just speak of tests or initiations that I feel like chosen ones go through in order for soul ascension. And it's crazy, because the way my mind works, I'm trying to say things where it won't sound like it's too far out there, but just in a way where it could be understood, you know what I'm saying? But let me go. The first test, okay? The first test is, who are you? I think when you get to a point where you are being called, because many are called, but few are chosen. I feel like when you get to the point where you are being called, you start to take a look in the mirror and you ask yourself, who are you? Who am I? Who is this being that I'm looking back at in the mirror? I remember when I was going through this phase of who am I? Who are you? I was at the top of my game with my hair and skincare business. I was being a boss. I had employees. I was doing all of the things that you see out here in the world. I guess that's what you would call a bad bitch. A boss bitch. That was me. I was working. I was doing my thing, taking care of the family, taking care of my kids. And one day I was like, who are you? Is this something that you want to do long term? I started to feel like I didn't want to do what I was doing over the past 6 or 7 years anymore. I felt like it was a deeper and higher purpose to myself. I felt like I wanted to be more on my spiritual side. And I wanted to figure out what was the spiritual me? What was the spiritual Charmaine? Who am I? So the first test was literally me just trying to figure out who the hell I was and how I was going to move forward. I started to slow things down in a sense of my business because I felt like personally on a soul level that I wanted to figure out who I was, and I didn't feel like that is who I was completely. And I just didn't want me running my business to be end all be all. So the first test is figuring out who you are. You're going to, when you're called to ascend, you're going to have to figure out who you truly are and who you want to be for real, and not saying this for fake, but that's how the world sees you. But who are you at a soul level? Okay. The second test that the hard test that chosen ones have to go through in real life experiences of my own is being isolated. I'm getting a vision of Jesus when he went to the mountain to be tested by Satan. And he literally isolated himself from the disciples, and he had to go up there. And even when he fasted 40 days and 40 nights up there. In my own life experience of being isolated, relationships started to fall apart. Relationships with family members started to fall apart. Friendships started to fall apart. I guess you could say businesses started to fall apart too, because I started to slow things down and I was trying to figure out who I really was at a core and a soul level. Things just started to fall apart. And it gave me time to be isolated in the sense of continue to figure out who I am, because the 7 heart test of chosen ones is not just one thing. It's a continuous cycle. Not even a cycle. It's a continuous journey of self-discovery. And I literally, over time, relationships with people who I thought I would always talk to literally started to fall apart. And I found myself by myself, which was a good thing, because I started to get to know myself, to know who I truly was, and to love myself for me. And it was a beautiful thing. So even though it was hard in the sense of everything falling apart, like relationships, like you can lose relationships with family members. If you're in a relationship, the relationship can go to shit, whatever the case may be. During this isolation phase, I had, I did a lot of shadow work. I had to go within, and I had to figure out, I'm getting as above, so below. I had to figure out my inner issues, bring them to the forefront during this isolation. But this is also down the line too with part of the test. But like I said, it's literally a journey, and there is no oh, you do this, and this. It's a journey of self-discovery, of soul ascension. So the third test, I'm sorry, I'm going too fast. The third test of a hard test of a chosen one is letting go. Letting go of what no longer serves you. Oh man, during this time, I used to smoke weed. I quit smoking weed. I stopped drinking. I stopped eating certain foods that was not good for me. I continue, because like I said, it's a journey. I continue to let go of relationships with people, even family members, that was not good for my mental health. Because, some of us do have, everybody don't, I remember I used to look at the TV, the Huxtables? The Huxtables or Family Matters, one of them. And you see how they is on the show that everybody got the loving mom and all this, and everybody's so supportive. Everybody don't come through that background. So I had to literally let go of the fact that that's not how I grew up, and that's not what I had. And I had to let go of things that I thought I should have that I didn't get. And as it related to just how family should be, or the relationships that I was in, how it should be. And just people, places, and things literally fell out of my life. And during this process, it's hard because you're literally left with yourself, which leads me to number 4 of the 7 hard tests the chosen ones have to go through, is the dark night of the soul. As above, so below, as within, so without. The dark night of the soul to me is literally like walking through the valley of the shadow of death. What do you say? You walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I should fear no evil. Because you really don't know what you're walking into. You don't know what's going to happen. You're just going blindly down this dark path, and you're just journeying through life, and you're journaling through the deepest depths of your soul, and everything that you've been through, and you're just literally sitting and you're sitting with it, and you're sitting with yourself, and you don't have anybody else to ask, hey, should I do this? Hey, should I do that? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Because remember, you're isolated. You don't have any of that. You're just going within with self, and you're asking yourself how to deal with things, and you're literally healing yourself. It's literally like a healing journey. And I remember that things continue to fall apart out of my life that no longer served me. I continue to let things go that no longer served me. People, places, things, addictions, anything that was just not for my highest good. I continue to let that go. And while letting that go during this dark night of the soul, I started to see things for what they truly was. I always seen things or sense things, because you know you get that as being an empath, but it was like times 30 now. I really started to like see myself for who I was, and for things that happened in my life that I feel like I allowed to happen in my life. And I didn't like it anymore. I started to look at myself, and I said, you know what, self, I want to change self. Self is not really happy right now with how self is being portrayed out here. And I want to change self. Like, I want to change my environment. I want to raise my vibrations. So that's what I went through within the Dark Night of the Soul. It was just like and during that time with the Dark Night of the Soul, you start going through things, and you literally start getting hit with thing after thing after thing. And it doesn't even really have to be anything physical. It could be mental. It could be mental things that you're hit with, because it's like because you're isolated, you're forced to really sit there and think about the things that you have been through in your life, and think about the things that you have done in your life. Kind of like, it feel like a soul review. Like after you died and you go up to heaven, you sitting there and God's showing you all the things you've been through in your life. It's like, that's what the Dark Night of the Soul felt like for me. Like, I'm literally sitting there and just reviewing everything that I've been through in my life. Even the things that I thought that I forgot about, that I tried to hide, that I tried to bury deep so that I didn't have to heal. Literally having to bring that up to the surface, because, you know, as above, so below, as within, so without. I had to bring that stuff up to the surface during the Dark Night of the Soul, and I had to sit there and I had to heal it by myself, with my spirit guides and God, of course, helping me in the background. But as far as anybody physically here, no. When you go through the Dark Night of the Soul, you literally, it's like a soul's journey to the depths of hell. And then you have to emerge again like a phoenix and fly. It's like a rebirth. So that leads me to number 5 of the 7 hard tests that chosen ones have to go through with real life experiences, is faith. And faith in self. During this phase, this is when I was getting hit with stuff left and right. It was so many things that was going on in my personal life that I could no longer sweep under the rug, that I literally had to deal with. It was truths coming to the surface that I had to deal with. It was things about people and loved ones who I thought was there for me that was coming to the surface that I had to deal with. I felt like I was being attacked left and right. It was, every time I turned around, I felt like there was something going on. Like, like you get a chance to chill, and then the next thing you turn around, like, what the hell? Now something else, what the hell? It's kind of like, I'm laughing now because I'm out of it. But when I was in, that shit was not funny. But it's kind of like when you're, say if you're like, if you buy a new house or something like that, or not, let's say an old house. You buy an old house and you want to start fixing it up, and you start fixing it up, and you knew about 1 or 2 problems that you would have to, deal with. But then as you start to gut the kitchen, you find out some pipes is messed up and you got to fix those pipes. And then you go down in the basement and you start to do the basement floors, but then you see mold. And it was kind of like that. It was like, it was stuff coming left and right, left and right, left and right. And what I didn't realize at the time was that I was literally, my faith was being tested. I seen the meme when the lady was saying, he was like, the Lord is testing me. Yeah, I really felt like my faith was being tested. Like, are you going to fold, or are you going to stand strong? And I'm hearing Monica, I'm still standing, I'm still standing. Yeah, I literally was going through knocked down, or tried to get knocked down on every angle, but I was still standing at the end of all of it. I was still standing at the end of the storms. I was still standing like if they have a tornado and there's just one tree, still standing at I was that tree. I was still standing. My feet were still planted in the ground. And that's what I felt like. I was going through things that was testing my faith, kind of like the story of Job, when he lost his wife, then his kids died, and then he got sick, and then like he lost his money and his servants and all of this stuff like that. His faith was being tested. That's what, yeah. So coupled with the dark night of the soul, and then which is test number 4, and then test number 5 is faith, which is faith in yourself. That's when I started to realize, yeah, this shit is real. And that's why most people don't really, pass all the tests, because you really go through a lot. A lot of people at this time will try to go back to what's comfortable, and then you find yourself in a cycle. And the cycle of going back to some bullshit, and then some bullshit happening, and then you out of it, then you go back to the bullshit, and then some bullshit happening, then you out of it, then you go back. Like, no, I didn't want to be in those cycles anymore. So I had to go through this journey. I'm seeing somebody like walk through a long journey, haggard feet, walking in the sand, dirty feet, raggedy clothes. If we was on tarot, it would be the 5 of Pentacles, just out in the cold, just walking, but still going, because your faith is being tested. Because at the end of the day, God wants to know, like, yeah, you're going through some stuff right now, but do you trust me? And that's what test number 5 is. Test number 6, surrender. And this stage, it's kind of like when you're going, like if you're in the water and you are swimming, instead of you swimming against the current, at this point, you just relax and you go with the flow, and you just let God, the universe, take you to where you need to go. That's that stage, surrender. I literally had to let go. And because I am a business owner, I feel like because, you're a business owner, you got to be in control of some stuff or you ain't going to have no business. But I really felt like I had to release control, and that's exactly what I did. I let go and I let God. I let God literally handle everything. I surrendered to the flow of the universe. I surrendered to the flow of how my life was going. And during this stage, instead of me getting like upset when things didn't go my way, child, I just was like, it is what it is type stuff. Like at this point, at test number 6, after you done went through all that stuff, all the dark night of the soul, isolation and all that stuff, when you get to the surrender, you done. You just like, all right, I give it to you. I give it to you, God. Go ahead. Show me your plan now. And then you let God show you his plan, her plan, and you just go with that. And that's what test number 6 is. Can you surrender? Can you let go? I'm hearing, I surrender all, everything. Literally. I surrender all. That's what I did. I just let go. And when I did that, oh, child. When I surrendered and I let go and I stopped trying to be in the driver's seat of my own fast car. Yeah, Tracy Chapman, you got a fast car. Yeah, I said, you know what? I'm going to be in a self-driving car right now, and I'm just going to let God and the universe just steer me where I need to go, and I'm going to surrender, and I'm not going to try to make my own plans. I'm not going to try to say, oh, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to build this, and I'm going to do this. No, I'm just going to surrender. And because I went through the dark night of the soul, and because my faith was tested, now I can hear clearly, and I was isolated, I can hear clearly what the divine has for me, because they're sending me things. They're sending me nudges. That inner voice, yeah, you start to hear that more. And I started hearing more of my inner voice. I started hearing more of my higher self. I started hearing more from God. I started hearing more from my ancestors. I started hearing more from people in the spirit realm who had my back. And they give you little nudges, and then it leads you to awakening, test number 7. You then start to realize, and you start to know that your purpose was something that you was living the whole time. All of the things that I have went through in my life, I realized that those are the things that I needed to go through in order to be where I am at this very moment right now, in the present. Awakening literally to knowing that all I have to do is be present. All I have to do is be still. All I have to do is just feel in the present and to be me. To be free to create, be free to be who I am, be free to express myself, be free to be me at a soul level, at a spiritual level. And that is the awakening part, test number 7. Or I would say the journey. It's literally journey. You're going through a journey, and then you there at the awakening part. And then even at this point, I'm like, this universe is convoluted. What they say, Socrates, the only true wisdom is knowing you know nothing. Socrates. The only true wisdom is knowing that you know nothing. Even at this stage, at the 7th test, I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I'm still going through a journey. But the only thing that is different is that I'm more aware. I'm seeing like an owl. I have like owl eyes. I can see through the night or something like that. Like I can see. I have more awareness of my journey. I have more awareness of just being in the present and just letting God, the universe, my ancestors just lead me to where I'm supposed to be. And being in this stage is so beautiful. It's so gratifying. It's unexplainable. I'm here with Kiki Shepard. It's impossible, unthinkable. You know the stars in the sky and you know them by name. You're amazing, God. Something like that. Uncomparable. That's where I'm at. I'm just in amazement. You're amazing. I'm in amazement right now. I'm in the state, the awakening stage is literally in the sign of amazing. Like, oh, that happened because I had to get here. Oh, I went through that because I had to do that, learn that so that I can do this. Oh, amazement. So if you are on the path of soul ascension, if you are a chosen one, a light seer, high priestess, priest, whatever you call yourself, a light bringer, these are the 7 signs or 7 hard tests that you go through to let you know this confirmation that all the shit that you've been going through, it's for a purpose. It's for a higher purpose, and it's for healing. It's for soul ascension. It's for the journey, and these are the signs that you are a chosen one. So thank you guys for spending your time with me, because your energy is your currency, and I do appreciate you guys. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. Comment below stages that you went through, like these 7 tests. Like, what happened in your life during these stages? Because, stages are a thing. It's really a process. It's a journey. And sometimes you may go through one stage and then it seems like it's so hard, but when you look back, you're like, oh, you're just so happy you made it out of it. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for spending your time with me. Give this video a like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.